Hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I'm just a regular dude walking in the Word. We are continuing our journey through the book of Genesis, and we just finished talking about Noah and the ark. Today we're going to be talking about what's called the origin of the nations, is what I'm calling it. Some people would call it the table of nations. And it's Genesis chapter 10. We're going to read that whole chapter there. What that chapter does, it talks about the three sons of Noah and how they they had children, and God had commanded them to spread out and repopulate the earth. Okay, and so that explains that. And so if you look closely at this, you will find ultimately where you came from, either Shem, Ham, or Japheth. Okay, and so you can trace that all back. I'm not going to give you all those details today because it'd take me quite a while. But if you want to look at that, a good book, several good books on that. Of course, this one by Skip Heitzig is one that he talks more about it, more in depth about it. The Genesis record, which I've referred to often, by Henry Morris, is also one that he goes into it deeper. You'll find, if you look on the internet too, you'll find, but make sure it's following Genesis 10, where you can trace the generations, where your people came from. Say you're for example, say you're of German origin. Well, you can trace that back to to here, okay, or you're from Africa and from Cush. Well, let's trace that back here. So let's read this today. It's Genesis 10. We're going to read the whole chapter today. All right, so follow along with me. I have my Bible here, so follow along. This is the account of Shem, Ham, and Japheth, Noah's sons, who themselves had sons after the flood. The Japhethites. The sons of Jephthah: Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, and Meshech, and Teres. The sons of Gomer: Ashkan, Riptha, and Togarmah. The sons of Javan: Elisha, Tarshish, and the Kittites, and the Rodanites. From these the maritime people spread into their territories by their clans within their nations, each with their own language. Okay. You're going to find as I read through this, some names you're going to catch, and you're going to go, hey, wait, I recognize that from other places in the Bible. Okay, so for example, the sons of Japheth, Gomer and Magog, and then also Tubal and Meshech. Those are all names that are mentioned later in the Bible from different lands. Okay, even in end times prophecies, you're going to see that Gog and Magog. All right. Which would be Gomer and Magog. Okay, so you can trace that stuff all the way back to here, which is very interesting. All right, the Hammites. This is verse 6. The sons of Ham. Remember, Ham was cursed by Noah and his sons, specifically of Canaan. So these are the sons of Ham: Cush, Egypt, Put, and Canaan. The sons of Cush: Seba, Havilah, Sabbatha, Ramah, and Sabbatka. Okay, Cush is if you would trace it, it would be northern Africa. Cush was the father of Nimrod, who became a mighty warrior on the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. That is why it is said, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before the Lord. The first centers of his kingdom were Babylon, Uruk, Akkad, and Kinlah and Shimner. From that land he went to Assyria, where he built Nineveh, Rehoboth, Calah, and Rislam, which is between Nineveh and Calah, which is the great city. Okay, let's stop there. When it talks about Nimrod here, we get the misconception that Nimrod was just known as a mighty hunter. He went out hunting animals. Most likely he was, hunting for men, and not to kill them necessarily, but to convince them of his way. And he was leading people in an ungodly way. You're going to see later he was, he set up battle he set up Babylon. And Babylon, you will find as you read through the Bible here that first of all Babel, and then Babylon. Babylon is never mentioned as a good place. Okay, all the way through the Bible, no one says, "Oh yeah, I'd love to be, you know, a Babylonian and you know, stay in Babylon forever." Okay, because it's just shown as an ungodly place, even up to the future. Right now today, it doesn't exist as the name of Babylon. There is a city there in Iraq, but it doesn't exist as that. But in the future, it will exist, and it'll be a very powerful center. But so Nimrod was against God, and he was influencing the city of Babylon and Babel. Okay, so it's showing he's against God. All right, let's keep moving on here. So Egypt was the father of the Ludites. This is verse 13. The Anamites, the Lebites, the Neutrites, the Pathrites, the Cushlites, from whom the Philistines came, and the Kepharites. Canaan was the father of Sidon, the firstborn, and of the Hittites. Notice these are all names that I'm going to read that were in Canaan that the Israelites had to conquer. The Jebusites, the Amorites, the Girgashites, the Hivites, the Arkazites, the Nasinites, the Aravites, and the Zemarites, and the Hamathites. Later, the Canaanite clans scattered, and the borders of Canaan reached from Sidon toward Gerar, as far as Gerar, then towards Sodom and Gomorrah, Adam and Zabon, as far as Lesh. These are the sons of Ham by their clans and their languages in the territories. All right, the Semites, okay, the sons of Shem. This is verse 21. Sons were born to Shem, whose older brother was Japheth. Shem was the ancestor of all these sons of Eber. The sons of Shem, Elam, Asher, Asphex, Lud, and Aram. The sons of Aram, Uz, Hul, Gather, and Meshech. Axphad was the father of Shemlah, and Shelah the father of Eber. The sons were born to Eber. One was named Peleg, because of the time on earth was divided, and his brother was named Joktan. Joktan was the father of Aldamad, Sheplah, Herspalah, Jerah, Hardaram, Uzal, Dekla, Obal, Abalaga, Sheba, Ophlar, Hivlah, and Jobad. All these were the sons of Joktan. The region where they lived stretched from Mesha towards Sephar in the eastern hill country. These are the sons of Shem by the clans and languages in their territories and nations. These were the sons of Noah according to the lines of descendants within the nations. From these are the nations spread out over the earth after the flood. So you have the three sons of Noah here. You have the Japhethites. You have the Hammites, which part of that line was cursed. And then you have the Semites, which is the sons of Shem. It's going to, later on in chapter 11, he's going to go, the author is going to take this further, and he's going to really leave out, from this point forward, the Japhethites and the Hammites, okay? Those are, they're important to God, of course, but he's focused on really the line going through Abraham, and then through David, and then to the Messiah, Jesus. Okay, so that's what the Bible is focusing on, rather than it just being a big history of a bunch of names of everybody who ever lived. God is focusing on the line all the way to Jesus. Okay, so that's why from this point on, he's going to focus on the sons of Shem. Okay, and not all those sons, but he's going to take that line and show you from Shem to Abraham. Okay, so yeah, you can, if you're from the tribes of Israel, you can trace your lineage all the way back here to Shem. All right, so this just kind of explains where the nations came from. And that's all I'm going to be saying for today. Thank you for watching. I'm just a regular dude walking in the Word. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue our journey. We're going to be talking about the Tower of Babel. Lord's blessing. I'll see you then.